Hi, welcome back to the ADHD Minimalist, and today we're going to talk again about decluttering with eBay, and we're talking about what items sell and what items don't sell. And I've been selling stuff on eBay as a way to declutter since the secondhand store that was only about 7 minutes from our house shut down, and that was actually before Corona, but anyway, I know a lot of people had stores that shut down during Corona too because people didn't go out and buy things as much. So if you have, like I do, that you have to drive a whole hour to leave stuff at the secondhand store, then selling things on eBay and shipping them at your local post office could be a really good option for you. So we had someone ask more about pricing and how I sell things on eBay, and so this video is for you. And if you have any other video that you would like me to make, just leave it in the comments and I'll try to get around to making that too. Just a reminder, if you go over to another video called, it says on the thumbnail, we have a surprise, and then it says how to declutter your medicine cabinet or medicine drawer. Anyway, that video has information about the comments contest that's going on right now, and I was gonna close it after 2 weeks, but I found out that video didn't circulate very much, and so there were no comments during those 2 weeks. So I've decided to extend the comment contest until the end of August, and so then I will read through all the comments and pick the 3 that were most interesting. So you can win some kids clothes, and you can pick the size. It's about newborn up to an 8 or 9 year old, and then I will send it to you for free. I will pay for the shipping myself. And so if you want to get in on that, go watch that other video and find out how. So for now, we're just going to dive into this video. I have 2 other videos out there about decluttering with eBay. One is about pricing, so that you know what all the fees are and you can decide what price to set on things so you come out on top. And the other one is about sort of my system for how I organize selling things so I don't lose items. And I did that once. I lost an item that I sold and I totally freaked out. And so I suggest being somewhat organized because it'll save you a lot of headache. So, but now we're going to talk about what sells and what doesn't sell. So we're just going to jump right in here. And I think we'll start with what sells. So just one word of advice: if you sell stuff in the right season, you will get more money for it. If you're desperate to get rid of it and it's at the end of winter and your kids grew out of their winter clothes, I mean, you can probably get it sold. You just won't make as much money off of it. So sometimes I've just put stuff in my storage room in these big plastic zipper bags and let them sit until right before the next season. And then I start putting stuff out on eBay. And then I do actually get a lot more money for it. Sometimes I can get up to half price of the new price of the winter clothes. And that's if they're in really good shape. But I can even sometimes sell stuff for a decent price that's been used a lot. If like you tell people, I mean, it's an extra jacket and pants for winter, and it's a good thing that you could take to daycare or something like that. It's maybe not something you wear to dress up with. But anyway, that works. But if you sell it in the right season, you will probably get at least, I would like to say 30% more for your items. So what sells? Kids' clothes, and that's stuff that's in good shape. And just as a rule of thumb, if you wouldn't buy it, just chuck it in the trash because the secondhand store doesn't want it either. So it's always a good idea just to get rid of those things that nobody wants, and then sell the stuff that's in really good shape. And if you want to sell a few things that aren't quite as good shape, put it together in like 10 to 15 kids items of clothing. And then there's a few that are name brand, so that the name brand kind of like gets people to look at the ad and that they're like almost new. So if you put like the name brands in the title and the fact that some of it is new, then you'll get a lot more people to click on your items. So then you can just add in a few things that are perfectly good, but maybe not that interesting in this big package of clothes. So that's how I sell kids' clothes, if it's just kind of like random mix of stuff in the same size, or maybe sometimes it's 2 sizes, but then you kind of have to add in more stuff. So maybe you have 15 items of clothing. But I put stuff together. So like last year I sold a bunch of swimming suits, and I have a few examples here. Like here's a bikini set that my 7-year-old grew out of, and 2 of these full swimming suits. And so last year I sold a lot of swimming suits, and I think Some of them I put 3 together like this and sold them, and I got a decent price for them. And I think it's because parents sometimes, like if you have kids like I do that are really picky and you're not exactly sure what they like and don't like, if they have 3 things to pick from in the same size, they will probably pick one. So it's good for picky kids. It's also good sometimes, like these are all the same size, and I think I sold my 3 that were the same size as well last year, but sometimes I'll do 4 items that are the same and 2 are one size and the other 2 are the next size. And so that way they know if they don't exactly know what size their child needs, they can take a chance. And so it just sort of gives people like the confidence to go out and bid on something if they're not 100% sure, because you have more than one item or more than one size. So that's one way of selling things. Another way is sometimes I've sold, now these are shorts, and where we live it's kind of cold, so I would get more money if they were jeans, but I'll sell like 5 or 6 pairs of jeans in the same size, or 6 pairs of jeans in 2 sizes as a big package. And that usually goes really well because kids get holes in their pants. And I know these days holes are popular, but still, like I'll let my kids wear the pants with the holes for a while, but eventually the holes get so big that they complain that they're hard to put on and get off, and the kids want to get rid of them themselves, and then we have to just chuck them. But I do find that jeans that don't have holes, unless you can advertise that the holes are from that you bought the pants with the holes in the store, then it's not like super popular to sell things with holes. A lot of people, they just would rather buy pants without holes and let their kids put their own holes in them. I don't know, just that's what I found. But so here's like 3 pairs of shorts. These are cut off, so we made these ourselves, and these don't usually sell as well. So as like bought-in shorts. So you're gonna have to mix them in with the ones that are bought and hemmed. But you could do like a package of 4 shorts in the same size. And again, if your daughter is really picky like mine is, we have beige glitter shorts, we have flowered shorts, we have jean shorts, we have jean shorts that are different color. So there should be at least 1 or 2 pairs of shorts in this group of shorts that your daughter would like. So that's what I do as far as kids' clothes. I try to group them together, and sometimes I'll group together just like random things, so it's not the same kind of clothes. It's just all clothes from size, I don't know, 7-year-old or something. But the problem with that is that for some reason that doesn't usually sell as well. So you either need to have lots of clothes in the same size, and like I said, name brands, they drive traffic to your ad, or whatever you want to call it, your sale on eBay, as well as if something in that pile of clothes is new, that will also help. But if there isn't anything that's really a name brand, if there really isn't anything that's new, honestly, sometimes I've had these like really nice packages of clothes with like sweaters that were like hardly used at all, but used a little bit. They did not sell. I ended up driving them to the secondhand store because it didn't sell. So for some reason, I feel like things like they do better if like it's a bunch of jeans or a bunch of shorts or a bunch of swimming suits together in 1 or 2 sizes. And maybe that's because like if kids get holes in their pants, the parents are maybe like they have too many shirts for their child and they haven't worn any of the shirts out, but they just wore out all their pants and they just want pants or something. So for some reason, that's what I've found works better. So you can always like try it however you want and like then just kind of see what works for you. Let's see here. Then we have gently used toys sell really well, and some toys that we've tried to sell that, I mean, they usually like sell really fast. It's Legos. We've sold Legos that are complete in sets with the boxes, and we get the most money for those. Sometimes like I've bought the Lego sets on sale, and honestly, I've got as much money as I paid for it out of the Lego or more because we had the box, we had the instructions, we had all the pieces. If you don't have all the pieces, you don't have the box, I've sometimes like just taken a picture of like if your child still has the item and it's built, take a picture of what you have and take a picture that you have the instructions, because the other child could then take it apart and rebuild it. And maybe those like extra pieces, because sometimes, you know, like I don't know, like my daughter had Lego elves and she would have the house and she would have the elves and maybe like an animal or something, but there was like some other little item that came with it, like a little tree or something, and that other item was lost, but she had everything else. So that's still really interesting for other parents and kids because it's almost all there. They can still take it apart and build it. They have the instructions. So we've gotten quite a lot of money for that sort of a setup with Legos. We've even sold Legos without the instructions that were built as a model, so you could take a picture of what it is. We've sold models and instructions that were missing everything except maybe like it was one Star Wars ship, like a smaller flying vessel of some sort, and then the men were gone, the other things were gone. You had the instructions just for that ship. And you don't make as much money off of those. I don't know, maybe we made $10 off of it or something, but it will still sell. So Legos sell really well. Just make sure that in your description you tell them what they're getting. And if you're not sure if it's a complete set, don't say that, because we said that once when my son said it was complete, but I didn't know that. And they called and they're like, it's missing a sword and it's missing a guy. And we're like, okay, we have to look through like 10, 20 kilos of Legos that he had in his room in a huge bin and try to find one itty bitty sword and one guy that was missing. And thankfully my husband and my son actually found those things and sent them, but it made me do a rethink that if I'm not sure that if it's complete, then I don't write it on eBay, because I don't want to have to spend an hour looking for something if my son doesn't want to help me. So anyway, so then I usually just say that we believe that it's all there and that I'm not going to look for extra pieces if they realize something's missing. So then they don't even have to ask. But if I do know that it's all there, then I will make more money off of it. So then I do write that it's complete if it's all there. And another thing is that like, if I sell stuff and it's my child's thing and I'm selling it, we usually do a deal where we split it about 50-50. Sometimes I've been extra nice and my kids got 50%. I took 40 and eBay got 10. I think the fees in the States are a little bit more than 10. So you can always just like wait till eBay deducts their fees and then just split the profit in half too. But I don't know, that's about what we do. About 50-50, the kids get half and I get half, because it does take a lot of my time. But usually Legos are big ticket items. So I sell the clothes that I buy for them and I take all the money for that. But if it's toys, then we usually like make we negotiate beforehand. Pet shops sell well, Barbies sell well, doll houses, all kinds of doll houses and whatever kind of animals or dolls that go with them, those sell pretty well. I don't know, we've sold Bratz dolls, like anything that's sort of like name brand or known from a movie will sell well. Hot Wheels, Nerf guns, like all of this kind of toy stuff sells really well. I will say that small toys, like, I don't know, random stuff. I'm thinking like McDonald's toys, but I mean, usually people don't sell those online, but sometimes, or stuff from the dollar store. I mean, just a whole box of random small stuff that won't sell. Nobody wants to have too much junk in their house. And usually if you have a bunch of Legos, then you're probably out looking for Legos so that you can add to your collection. So if it's not a name brand toy, if nobody knows what it is, then don't put it on eBay because it's not worth your time. Sports equipment, that sells both for grown-ups, I don't know, like weights, anything that you can ship, or you can sometimes just say that people have to come pick it up if it's a exercise bike or something. But even for kids, like I've sold outgrown hockey gear on eBay, skis, snowboards. You could probably sell like American football gear, any kind of like sporting gear that's pretty expensive and kids grow out of it a lot and parents are looking for it used. That usually sells really well. Next page here, I've sold wallpaper on eBay, and amazingly, like retro wallpaper, it sells for quite a lot of money. And it's seriously sold rolls of retro wallpaper for like the new price of just like a normal generic wallpaper would go for today, and sometimes more than that if it's a really special wallpaper. And I don't know why I used to like go around to secondhand stores and pick up rolls of old wallpaper, because I don't know, I like wallpaper. I prefer to wallpaper instead of paint, which we actually just re-wallpapered behind us. I don't know if you can see the pattern on there, but so I did have some of this stuff in my storage room, and some of it I realized after a while I'm never going to use this, and so I put it on eBay. But you can also sell new wallpaper. Sometimes I bought rolls of new wallpaper, and then suddenly like everything changed that we were doing and I needed to just get rid of it. But that was pretty neutral stuff. So we're talking about things that are based on the colors beige and white, or like a pastel that will sell. Really loud, obnoxious, very, very trendy wallpapers might be harder to sell, but you can always give it a try. Let's see here. I also sell backpacks and bags. And purses and stuff, they pretty much have to be in really good condition or be like some kind of name brand or expensive purse. I haven't sold that many purses, but a few. And bags and backpacks, which I've sold more of. And where we live, a lot of people do hiking and sporting, like the kind of backpacks that maybe have like a water bag inside so you can drink while you're running or bicycling or something. All of these like sort of sports bags, they sell really well. And anything for hiking, anything for specific sports. Gently used kids backpacks that are, smaller, but I've only sold name brand kids backpacks. So I don't really know what would happen if you would sell one that didn't have a name brand. Probably it would need to be really cute and really good shape at that point. But I think that would sell really well as well. Those have like seriously gone like hotcakes. They just sell really fast. Furniture, I've honestly sold some small shelves. I've sold bedside tables. Some of them were the smaller kind that had a drawer and they were like, you hung them on the wall, but even some that had legs, they were small enough that I could send them, and they weren't oversized, so it wasn't expensive to send it. But I will say that if you're going to sell like some kind of furniture, it either needs to be on trend at the moment or retro. Probably don't put like, yellowed pine stuff out on eBay unless you think somebody wants to buy it cheap and like refinish it or something like that. But if you want to get some money out of it, so it's worth your time for like packaging this, because it's kind of odd objects to package and are a little bit bulky and weird, then make sure that you're going to get some money out of it before you put it on eBay. I've sold kids furniture, like a small tables and chairs, and that's also, it's small enough usually that you'll be able to send it without having to pay an extra fee because it was too big or too heavy. Then you can put furniture on eBay and just say that people have to come pick it up, but I will warn you, you won't get as much money out of it because people who live near you have to see the ad, and if they don't, then you won't get anybody to bid against each other. So usually you'll just get the price that you set as the starting price. So if you're going to put something on eBay and sell it and you can only have people come pick it up, make sure the starting price is high enough that you're happy if it sells for the starting price. So just my word of advice on that. Then you can always have pickup as an option on furniture items because maybe somebody that lives near you happens to buy it and they're bidding against people who live far away, but they would really like to come pick it up and save money on the shipping costs. So if you have furniture, always have pickup as an option, but it's really good to have a shipping option too. Kitchenware, decorative plates and porcelain sell. We changed out all of our dishes around Christmas time and I put them on eBay, and there was a few, actually still really nice ones that didn't sell. They were all blue, but they were kind of an odd shape. And when I took pictures of them, they looked like they were really deep. So people were sending me messages and they were like, is it a bowl or is it a plate? And how deep is it? Is there actually enough space on there to eat it on as a lunch plate? So it kind of depends on what kind of pictures you can get. And just the way the shading was, it was two-toned blue dish. And it looked different than what on the pictures than it looked in reality. And so then it just did not work to sell. So I eventually just donated that to some people who were having a garage sale. But all of the other stuff that I had, it was kind of classic dishes that were white with some blue flowers or something. I put them out there for what I thought was a decent price and they sold the first week. So that went really well. And then even the kind of porcelain dishes that you bake casseroles in and put in the oven, those sold well, and salad bowls sold well. But I never sold metal cookie sheets or metal 9 by 13s, baking dishes and stuff like that, because usually those don't look very nice after a number of years. I'm talking about porcelain things that are fun colors or patterned or something, or maybe two-tone. The inside of the dish was white or blue or something, and the outside was a different color. So a little bit eye-catching and then in really good shape. they sold like the first week, everything. Kitchen machines that work and are in good condition also sell well. And some other like small kitchen gadgets. I mean, you can get specific kitchen gadgets for all kinds of stuff, and then maybe you realize it wasn't as fun to use as you thought, but maybe somebody else wants to try it. So that kind of stuff has sold really well as like kitchen stuff for like camping and that sort of thing that also sells really fast. Then we have tools. My husband sold some tools, and as long as you know that it works, you can usually sell it and get a decent price for it. As well as like just regular handheld screwdrivers and wrenches, and anything that doesn't have a battery will sell well too, because they're not worried about the life of the battery being almost over. And then anything that's unused or unopened usually sells quite well. Lamps, lampshades, lighting. I've sold all kinds of lighting, even like old retro lamps that the person who bought it needed to change the electrics in it. I still got a good price for it. So anything that's like on trend or is retro as far as lamps and lighting usually sells well. And clothes for grown-ups. I would say when I've sold clothes for myself, I made sure that I had some name brand items and I grouped stuff together. So I sold 10, maybe 7 to 10 items together, and I had and all of them were from the same season. So last time I sold something with summer items, and I had like a prana tank top with a built-in bra and some kind of prana pants, and then some, I don't know, cotton pants that were like really wide, so they almost look like a skirt. I don't know, just like an assortment of like, either it was like a nice brand or it was like sort of eye-catching and fun. And so I just grouped all of these summer clothes together and sold them, and that went really well. And then sometimes I've sold like name brand winter jackets or something that are for grown-ups, and that's gone well. But just selling like run-of-the-mill clothes for grown-ups on eBay, that doesn't usually work, because grown-ups really want to try things on. So if you like a brand, like some kind of name brand, and you know what size you have in that brand, you're more likely to try to buy something on eBay than if it's just like general stuff and you don't really know what size you need in that particular brand. So I don't put just regular clothes that I don't want to wear on eBay. I just donate those give them to a friend to try on and see if they want, and they'll probably give them to another friend, and eventually they end up at the secondhand store an hour away. And then shoes, like kids shoes I've sold a lot of, but it's seriously like mainly shoes that are either name brand or maybe they're not name brand, but they're really new. So like I bought them, my child used them for half a winter, and then she grew out of them and I needed a new pair. So then I just went ahead and sold those because they were hardly used. If the shoes are really used up, then you just need to get rid of them. If they're a little bit more used, but they're maybe like kid shoes that are like Keen sandals for the summer or Tiava or something like that, then you can probably get them sold even if they're a little bit more used. So the same goes for adult shoes. If I've bought shoes online, it's because they're name brand, and I pretty much know what size I need in that brand. So I try to think of the same thing if I'm going to sell shoes. But I've sold grown-up cowboy boots, like a whole bunch of cowboy boots for, I don't know, $60 to maybe $80 a pair on eBay. I've also sold winter shoes for grown-ups, like winter boots. These were name brand though. Hiking boots that were name brand. Climbing shoes, also name brand. Cowboy boots, some of them were, I don't know, like those cheaper brands. What are they called? Old something. But they're a little bit cheaper boot, and those still went for like $60. And then I did sell some that were a better brand, but they had been used a little bit and like out in the water and stuff, and needed to be, I don't know, brushed so that they looked better, and they needed to be sprayed with waterproofing and stuff like that. So I didn't do any of that myself. I just let the next people take care of that, and they still paid for them. I didn't get, I mean, I don't know, I think maybe I bought those boots on sale. So they were supposed to cost like $120 or $130, and maybe I got them for $80 and I sold them for $60. So not a bad deal for me, even though I didn't wear them very many times. Like I wore them for a wedding or two, or like a few dress up occasions, and then I realized I wasn't going to wear them anymore. So that's the kind of shoes that I sell. Another thing that sells really well is Tupperware, and pretty much any other plastic container I tried to sell on eBay did not sell. Like, Tupperware went really well, and even sometimes if you only had the lid or only had the bottom, because maybe somebody else only has the lid or the bottom and they want the other half. So I usually try to group some Tupperwares together, so you're not just selling one item, but it's a few different things together. And then if you're going to sell something else that's plastic, it pretty much has to be like a retro item that has some kind of, I don't know, even if people don't want to drink out of it, maybe it looks nice on the shelf, something like that. But like, I don't know, regular plastic stuff that you can just get at any store for cheap, that doesn't sell. Okay, well, I guess we've already gotten into the list of like what doesn't sell as far as like plastic stuff, but other things I found is just, I think I already said this, but just regular clothes that aren't name brand and that are sort of worn but not really worn out. Just send that stuff to the secondhand store, give it to a friend, because it doesn't sell well. You might be able to sell a little bit of it if you group it together with a few like super nice things. Pillows don't sell. I've never tried to sell like the kind of pillows you sleep on, because usually those are worn out when we need to get rid of them. But I've tried to sell these sort of like throw pillows or decorative pillows, and that just has not worked out. Some baby items won't sell, like baby bottles, teething toys, pacifiers, etc. I don't know, the rules for baby stuff changes a lot. It's like old baby cribs don't sell well either, because people want new stuff. They want their children to be safe. In Sweden, a lot of people sell baby buggies on eBay, and that works really well. And most people know, they do their research and they know what it is before they either go look at it or buy it. But in the States, I've noticed that secondhand stores aren't allowed to sell baby buggies a lot of the time for safety reasons. So I don't know if you're allowed to sell that on eBay in America. So you kind of need to check that stuff. Anything that has to do with babies or child safety, you might just need to make sure that it's okay for you to sell it before you put it on there. Swimwear for grown-ups doesn't sell. And again, like baby blankets, baby sheets, anything that like you have the duvet and you put the sheet around it or something, those aren't always the same size. And so I don't know, I think people just prefer to buy bedding for their babies new, and so that doesn't sell very well. And then, like I said, old plastic items that aren't Tupperware usually don't sell well. Anything that's worn out won't sell well. And I also found that shoes that aren't name brand don't sell well. So, I mean, there's more things that don't sell well. Like, I don't find that kids' books sell all that well. I think people sometimes they want to look in the books and see how much text is on each page and how many pictures and stuff. So grown-up books, you can scan the code, and sometimes those will sell really well. But I don't know, I find that just run-of-the-mill kids' books, unless it's something that everybody knows what it is, like in Sweden that would maybe be Pippi Longstrump or Pippi Longstocking books or something that everybody knows what it is, and then it's easier to sell it. But if nobody knows what it is, then you probably want to just go to a regular garage sale and like open the kids' books and look at them before you buy them. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, if you can't get enough pictures so that people can get a good idea of like what kind of shape it's in, or like if it's a kid's book, like what's in the book, so that you can't sell it because they can't really see it, then if you're ever going to have a garage sale, just save it for that, or donate it to the secondhand store or a friend who's having a garage sale if you just need to get it out of your hair. Then knowing what sells and what doesn't sell and what price to start with, that's sort of like a thing that you learn over time. And like I said in another video, you can always start a little bit high, and then every week you can like lower the price between $2 or $5, maybe like just lower it somewhere in there, that range. And then if it doesn't sell the next week, then try lowering it a little bit again. And eventually you'll find like that point where the buyer is happy and they feel like they got a good deal, and you're still happy and you feel like you got some money back for your item. So there's sort of like a magic little point there where you kind of like have to meet the buyer and the seller and what kind of price it is. And so it's something that you learn over time. So if you start a little bit high and just lower it every week, eventually you'll learn where that point is. So anyway, just good luck. And if you have some comments about other things that don't sell or that sell on eBay when you've been selling stuff yourself, leave it in the comments. And feel free to go check out the video about how to declutter with eBay and how you organize things, and also how to declutter with eBay, and and all of the prices and fees that eBay has, and the extra prices and fees that you have, and like where to set the price. There's a video about that as well. And you're welcome to be part of our comments contest. We'd love to hear from you and send you some kids' clothes. So have a great day. Thanks for being with us. Bye.